All right, compliments of the season. You're welcome to another edition of FMBN podcast here on 7FM TV, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. On FMBN podcast, we beam our searchlight on the activities, events, and happenings at the FMBN in order to keep you informed with all the workings, products, and services that FMBN offers. Let me remind you that this program comes up here every week on 7FM TV with housing facts, exclusive interviews, commentaries, news, and many more that's bothered around affordable housing in Nigeria. My name is Patience Okai, your host. Let's quickly go on a commercial break. We'll be right back.
The latest couple in town.
Good day, sir.
How are you? Oh, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Drinks?
No, we're fine, sir.
How was the moon experience?
It was quite an experience.
How about house?
We are renting at the moment, but we intend to save enough to own our own house, right?
Why not avoid all those Shylock landlords and own a house upfront? With the average income and cost of building houses today in Nigeria, mortgage is the best option. No sweat. I tell you what, that was how I got my first house, and I've never regretted it.
To make good homes, and by implication, a good society, an individual is expected to have an abode from which to take off and return at the end of each day. At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home. Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
Welcome back to FMBN podcast. This program is proudly sponsored by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria here on 7FM TV. Let's talk about the housing facts. Nigerians are asking this particular question. They are saying, can a corporate society apply for CHDL using in-house professionals? Let's listen to the response from FMBN.
Yes. A cooperative society can use its own in-house professionals to access CHDO as long as they are qualified professionals and possess the necessary certificates and experience.
All right, good to know you are still with us here on 7FM TV and you are watching FMBN podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Let's actually go into the exclusive interview with the unit head Servicom, Mr. Abubakar Mohammed Jungudo, with 7FM TV correspondent Austin Sinam. Let's join the conversation.
We have 34 presently contributing. 35 is on the way. In fact, in the couple of months to come, they will fall in. The other one is that we are still talking to the government and labor union of that state. And we hope before the end of the year, that one, or the first quarter of 2023, we get them. So you can see in terms of the formal sector where we have the state government and labor unions, they are contributing. So it's a real big plus there. Now, we have now moved our attention to the informal sector, where we have the large chunk of the public. And that one is, like I said, that's why we're talking about the nook and crannies as I'm talking to you. We have started going down into rural areas now, talking about it to them. Or like in Abuja now, we go all to area councils. In the states, they go to all the local governments. They go to where these people are doing businesses, talk to them, sensitize them, and get them into this scheme. And like you said, yes, of course, if you don't have information about anything, of course, doubt will be there, misconception will be there, misinformation will be there. But the moment you know, like I told you when we went to Benue, you know, there are new recruits. Some of them didn't even hear anything about Federal Mortgage Bank. They don't know anything about Federal Mortgage Bank until when we had that chat with them. Some relied on what they had from their people or maybe their relations or whatever, and they voiced it out. By the time we addressed all their concerns and talked to them, they said, this is not the way they thought the bank is operating. And even some were even saying there that the bank is for family and friends. How can a whole bank that is for federal government be for family and friends? Is it a private concern?
Maybe they are going with the Nigerian mentality that says, now who you know.
But here we operate, we have a very how would I put it? The processes here are really open. Because first of all, if you are not a contributor, you don't even have to come here. But once you are a contributor, you have every right to access
full eligibility,
the product and services of this company. And if you follow it logically the way it's supposed to be followed, how, for God's sake, can we say we cannot give you? Because you are, from all indication, you have what? Satisfied the requirement to access that. We give it to you. But where we have hiccups is where your documentation or issues that you have issues that cannot be surmounted. Then you can see, of course, there are procedures and guidelines for everything. And we try as much as possible to follow real procedures so that people will see it that yes, there's a process, and once you get it, because this is a long-term business. Mortgage is a long-term business. It's not a short-term business. 30 years, 25 years, it takes a long time. So if anything happens in between, there must be a mechanism that must address any lacuna. So that is why probably people say, because since it's a long-term business, they say, oh, we want it sharp. You know, in sharp business is something that 24 hours, 1 day, 2 days. That's sharp. But here we're talking about 25 years, 30 years. Of course, you have to do all the due diligence to get things done right.
All right, when you say catch them young, and then you gave an instance of the Nigerian youth corps members, the NYSC, it does seems like the bank has so much money and so many houses that they are looking for people to dash them these houses. It's like they are saying, come, just follow this process, and we have thousands of houses that can accommodate the whole Nigerians, because you also talked about the nook and cranny of the country. So if you are able to penetrate, if everything works like a rocket science for you, that means everybody can have a house in Nigeria, and the bank has houses they've built. They have the whole money to dish out to people.
See, let me put it to you. Let me put it this way. In the whole of the world, there is no country that has satisfied housing needs of its population. In the whole of the world. Looking at our own, like I told you, it's a social housing. No government all over the world have been able to satisfy the whole of its entire population and say everybody has been given the house. But like I said, here in Nigeria, you know, this NHF is a revolving program. As long as people are enrolling, subscribing to the scheme, as long as they are giving mortgage and they are repaying, it will expand the net to accommodate as many as possible within the contribution, the threshold of the contribution. I'm not saying that if all Nigerians are contributing, all Nigerians will have houses at the same time. No. But as they are contributing, some are getting, some are repaying, some are entering, some are existing. Because remember, there are some that are exiting. That is, once they are 60 years, you come for your refund. We will repay or refund you all what you have contributed, and even plus interest. So you go out with it. It's a win-win situation.
Interesting. That was an exclusive interview with the unit's head, Mr. Abubakar Mohammed Jingudo, with 7FM TV correspondent Astem. Thank you. Let's quickly go on a short break, and when we come back, FMBN News this week.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now You need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
You are still onto the program FMBN podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria here on 7FM TV. Now let's bring you FMBN news this week. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition. Do well to join us next week for another interesting edition of FMBN podcast. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles displayed on your screen at Instagram 7TV_NIG, at Twitter 7TV_NIG, Facebook 7TV Nigeria, YouTube 7FM-TV. You can also visit our website at www.7media.ng. And of course, do well to visit www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information. Till I come your way next week, my name is Patience Okai, and Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to you. Once again, stay blessed. Bye.